Now, the other thing that we've had a production of order of documents on is to see if the Albanese Labor government has responded to the RRAT Senate inquiry into the closure of branches in the regions. Now, this would have to be one of the most widely followed Senate inquiries throughout the term of the Albanese Labor government. Got an enormous amount of media because people are rightly concerned about the closure of branches in the regions, and as we found out, it's not just the regions. There's a lot of angst even in metropolitan communities about the closure of their local branches. And people are fed up to the back teeth with whether it's big government or big business screwing the little guy. And that's what we're seeing now. We've seen it with, you get on the phone now, you want to, you invariably, let's just take insurance. It's not quite banking, but it's similar in the sense that it was all privatised in the 1990s. You get on the phone now and you want any customer service. You're playing phone, you're waltzing on the phone, hitting numbers, trying to get through to someone who'll actually speak to you because you can't get any service anymore. And then when you go, and I've had this happen to me because I just like to go to the branch and stand in the line, play on my phone, and then just do some face-to-face service. I'm a bit old-fashioned like that, I'll admit. But when it comes to sort of complex administrative issues that are messy, things like internet banking just doesn't cut it. And I've done this a number of times where I've gone to the bank and they've gone, "Oh no, we can't serve you. You've got to ring this number," and then you're shunted back to back to the telephone, and you're ringing someone in a capital city in some business centre somewhere. Now, I do live in an outer metropolitan region, but I can assure you, while I can probably live with it, people out in the regions can't. And I know when we were doing this Senate inquiry, we were at one town in Western Australia where they had to do a 300-kilometre round trip to go and see their local bank manager, and that was for a prosperous town of 2,500 people. Not the world's biggest town, I accept, but still an important town in that great state of Western Australia, which punches above its weight in terms of delivering wealth for this country. I think these people are entitled to have access to a bank where they can get face-to-face service. Now, what I want to know is, that's the guts of the issue, but what I want to know is why is the Albanese government not responding to this very, very, very important Senate inquiry about the delivery of very, 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 very important essential services? And I'll tell you why. Because Labor, when it comes to financial services in this country, has blood on their hands. It was none other than Paul Keating that privatised the Commonwealth Bank, and I can assure you Ben Chiefeley would be rolling in his grave if he knew what the Labor Party had become after his death. So I say to you, I say to the Labor Party, those on the other side of the chamber, what is it that you're hiding, and why can you not respond to this very important Senate inquiry that has called for the creation of a public bank like we used to have, like the CBA, to provide a bit of ethical competition and a bit of service competition to the private banks, who in the last 30 years have shut something like 3,000 branches. The branch network has declined by something like 65 or 70%, and it's still declining. And when you weigh that up against the fact that Australia's population has not quite doubled then, but almost doubled, back in 1994 when the CBA was 94 when the CBA was privatised, 93, Australia had a population of about 15 million. We've now got a population of 27 million, and we've got about 60 or 70% less branches out there. It's all too well, and let's not forget the banks got bailed out in the GFC. They got bailed out during COVID. So I think the least we can expect is some sort of service delivery, both from the banks themselves and some accountability and transparency from the Albanese Labor government before their term ends as to what they're going to do about this critical issue.
Authorised G. Rennick People First Chermside.